Today we're going to show you how to correctly water your plants. Incorrect watering is one of the most common reasons why the plants fail in their first year. We're going to explain how much water you need to be giving your plants and discuss various watering systems. The moisture requirement needed for your plants is largely driven by the evaporation from the leaves. So the faster the evaporation, the more water will be needed. A good analogy would be if your washing's drying on the line, your plants are drying out too. Too much water can do as much harm as not enough. Waterlogging will effectively suffocate the roots, so if not rectified, your plants will die. It shouldn't be necessary for you to water your plants every day. In fact, we strongly advise against that, unless you have a carefully controlled watering system. In hot and windy weather and on free draining soils, it may be necessary to water 3 or even 4 times a week. During long periods of wet weather, it would be sensible to reduce your watering to about once a week. If you're in doubt as to whether to water, simply put your hands into the soil and feel, because although it might have rained, it isn't to say that the water's actually penetrated down into the root. The surface may look dry, but the plant could actually be sat in water, especially with clay soils. So to investigate this further, simply dig down. The amount of water needed also depends on how the plants were grown. With root ball plants, it's safe to assume that the rain is not going to sufficiently water the plants for you. If you've planted root balls like these laurels, as you can see, the foliage acts like an umbrella. The root ball is just too big for the water in the surrounding soil to penetrate into the centre of the root zone. Be aware that the soil in the root ball is likely to be of a higher density than the backfill that surrounds it in the planting hole or trench. Be careful to water root balls steadily. This is to ensure that the water soaks through them rather than flowing around them. The advice on watering container grown plants is much the same as with root balls. Please don't rely on the rain. It's not going to sufficiently water the plants for you. For the first year, treat the plants as if they're still in the pot and they're completely reliant on you for all their needs. The amount of water required for each plant depends on the plant's size. So a tree grown in a 250 litre container is going to need more water than the shrub that's been grown in a 36 litre pot. So a plant grown in a 36 litre pot needs about 5 to 9 litres of water, which is about one of these watering cans. Here's a helpful guide for how much to water larger plants. There are a number of different ways of watering your trees and shrubs. The easiest, most reliable way is to create a donut. This basically creates a reservoir with the soil, so the water goes into the middle and penetrates down into the roots, and water doesn't seep over. The easiest way to water container grown and root ball hedging is to use a soaker hose attached to a timer like this one. Attach the timer directly to the nearest outside tap, which needs to stay switched on permanently. Run a length of hosepipe from the timer to the start of the run of the hedging, and then lie the soaker hose down on the soil surface, directly on top of the root balls, for the full length of the new hedge. At normal tap pressure on level ground, soaker hose can water a length of hedging 40 to 50 metres long. For longer lengths or where the water pressure is diminished, it may be necessary to set up more than one system. Set the timer to run either once or twice per day for the appropriate length of time, from early spring to late autumn. Be aware that evergreen hedges may also require occasional watering during mild, dry periods in the winter. If you are in doubt about your watering, or some of your plants are looking stressed, please contact us as soon as possible.